Hey, welcome to the Fantasy Wizards podcast. We're kind of going live here. You'll be able to view it. I'll try to make all the injuries and start changing your roster. So first, we'll start with quarterbacks. Joe Burrow is probably going to be out this week with calf. He's questionable still, but I would just start somebody else in his position if you're worried. You don't want to wait till you have one game left, unless you can pick up Matty Stafford on your roster. Anthony Richardson out as we expected. So Garner Minshew is going to get the start. So that's going to hurt some of your fantasy options. But he should be confident quarterback enough for your tight ends there if you're willing to start those. And Anthony Dalton, is going to get the start instead of Bryce Young. So you're not really starting those Carolina receiving options anyway, so maybe Miles Sanders is going to get an uptick. Looks like Eckler will remain out this week, so Joshua Kelly's in his spot. He should have a better matchup this week, so try him out if you don't have any other options. And Aaron Jones, he's questionable. It's going to be probably a game time decision, so just check that out till the start. Nick Chubb obviously is out this week, so Jerome Ford and uh, Kareem Hunt's going to get touches. Just monitor that situation. Jerome Ford's going to be a low ceiling. He's going to have a tough matchup or low floor. So and probably a low ceiling as well. So David Montgomery's doubtful this week. Jahmyr Gibbs should get an uptick in touches. Isaiah Pacheco is questionable, so we'll see leading up to the game whether he starts. I wouldn't have him in my lineup anyways, but it could. There's a lot of points in that game. So Tony Jones Jr. or Kendre Miller could get the start. Could get a lot of touches this week because Jamal Williams is out. Alvin Kamara will be back next week, so if you need somebody to start, you could potentially pick those guys up. Justice Hill is out, so looks like Gus Edwards is going to get the bulk of the carries. So just monitor that and see how he'll do this week. If you want to put him in your lineup, I'm okay with it. Kenneth Gainwell is off the injury report, so we'll see what's going on Monday, and then so is Kendre Miller is off the report, so he and Tony Jones Jr. might be getting a lot of touches again. So Christian Watson is questionable. Monitor that. He sounds like he's not going to play actually, but we'll see. It's a game time decision. And Metcalf is questionable because of his ribs. I would just sit him out this week. He's got a low floor right now and not a high ceiling. So Amon-Ra, his toe is questionable for Sunday's game as well. He should start. He's not going to get you as many points as you think this week. So, and then Waddle is out this game for his concussion he got. So I would pivot to any options that you have at wide receiver, or if he's in, move somebody from your flex up and flex somebody else. You got a lot of leeway right now. Odell Beckham's out, and then Hopkins, he's questionable for today's game. So we'll see what's going on. I wouldn't start him anyway, so pivot, I would say. Puka, he's questionable for Monday night's game. He should get a start. He kind of had the same thing going on last week. But Tutu Atwell, if you can pivot to him for somehow, snag him on your roster. It should be a good matchup. So, and then Reynolds is questionable for Sunday's game with a groin. Josh Reynolds. So it looks like those wide receivers for the Lions is going to be tough. Kadarius Toney, he's questionable, but I wouldn't start him anyways. Brandon Cooks is off the injury report. He could be a good pivot for everyone who's needing a wide receiver. And Jacoby Myers is also a pivot. He's off the injury report, so I'd go with those two guys. Zay Jones is out, so that means Christian Kirk should be a great option this week. He's got a lot of mouths to feed. Trevor Lawrence, but I think with him out, you should be good. Logan Thomas is out. Irv Smith is doubtful, and Will Dissly. I mean, I don't know if any of these options would be startable anyways, so it looks like the tight ends are at a better position. Um, yeah, so I have a couple of questions on our emails. We had Josh Reynolds potentially. Would you start KJ Osborne, Cortland Sutton, or Josh Reynolds at the wide receiver position? So with this one, I would actually go with KJ with the the highest over under of the week in that Vikings game. But Josh Reynolds could be, a good safe play if he does play. He's still questionable, but Cortland Sutton, I would sit. This week's going to be a tough matchup against the Dolphins. And then we had Miles Sanders, Jerome Ford. With that one, I mean, I would go Miles Sanders for a higher upside. And then we have another one, Josh Kelly or DeAndre Swift. I am starting Josh Kelly with DeAndre Swift potentially splitting carries this week with Kenneth Gainwell coming back. So I think Josh Kelly is going to have a way better matchup this week. So those are kind of the updates, and we'll give you a short video this week.